So good evening, everyone. My name is Harold Joyner. I'm one of the member artists at Archway Gallery and the current gallery director. I want to welcome you to this homecoming. It's a celebration of our beginning, and I want to tell you a little bit about Archway and indeed how it got started. It started here at the Jung Center in the room across the hall there, and that's where the former members' works are hanging tonight. A group of young artists had the desire to be in control of the sales and presentation of their work, so they had the bright idea to start a gallery. Great idea. And then once they had started their gallery, they realized that it needed a name. And so they looked around and they took the name from the arches that are the central feature of this building. And Archway Gallery was born. So 50 years later, thank you to the original members, 50 years later, Archway Gallery is the longest running artist-owned gallery in the state of Texas. So we envisioned a two-pronged celebration. The first of those, this exhibition, including the work of some of our founding members and longtime previous members. And then next month, at our Dunleavy Street location, we'll be presenting another exhibition titled 50 Forward. And that will focus on where Archway is today as we look toward our next 50 years of existence. Next 50 years, yes. And that exhibition will include works by all 34 of our current member artists. And that's a rare thing for us to stage a group exhibition with the entire gallery. So that will be unique in itself. That exhibition will also include a wall of individual portraits created by each of our artists. So that's something unique in that exhibition. The soft opening for that will be on Saturday, April the 4th, and then the reception will be the following Saturday on April the 11th. At this time, I want to acknowledge the co-chairs of this 50th anniversary celebration, Cookie Wells and Cheryl Rossetti. It was actually their vision to create a two-part celebration with the original work being, here at the Jung Center. And they were very instrumental in, did a lot of really detective work to find our former members and the founders and get them here and get them on board with this exhibition. So we owe a big debt of gratitude to them for that. Also want to introduce some founding members who are here with us. We have Hillary Page here. Raise your hand, Hillary. This is Hillary Page. She is one of the founding members. And seated next to her is Janet Hassinger, also a founding member. And seated next to her, not a founding member, but a very early, pivotal member of the gallery, Joe Zeider. So I'd like to ask them to come up here and share some of their memories of the early days, of reflection on the early days of Archway Gallery. And let's start with Hillary Page. Hillary, will you join us?
notes here.
It's just a short.
Very good.
So, yeah, I'm Hilary Page, and I just want to say it's great to be back at the Jung Center. And we came to the Jung Center because of my circumstance at the time. So, 50 years ago, there were so many art stores where you could buy supplies and take classes. So I arrived from Brooklyn, not knowing anybody. Within walking distance were 3 art stores. One of them, somebody called Bill Zahner painted, and he took us out on location. And that's where I met Marianne Hornbuckle and Stephanie Nadolkski. So, and we would go with him on a number of trips around Houston. Like Voss Road, there was a farm there, which we used to paint blue bonnets. I mean, it was picturesque. So then, unfortunately, Bill left town and went to Bernie, Texas. So Marianne and Stephanie and myself would still go out on location. And it so happened in February 1976, we went to Kima. And on the way back, Marianne and Stephanie were talking in the front of the car, saying, oh, we're so sick of art shows. You have to set everything up, take everything down. We should start our own gallery. So I thought, that's an interesting idea. But at that time I was 4 months pregnant with 2 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and my stepson who was 14. So I really had a large family, and things were going on. And being a quiet painter, I needed a bit of help. So where did I come but to the Jung Center? And I got terrific counseling, and to get to the counseling, I had to go through that room where our paintings are. And it was empty. So I thought to myself, that would make a good gallery site. So I talked to Marianne and Stephanie, and they agreed. So we had a meeting, and a few meetings, and it came up, what should we name the gallery? And I don't remember whose idea it was, but I know it wasn't mine. But we all voted, and it was a close vote with something else. But we wanted Archway because of the arches, of course, and A being alphabetically, would give us first place. So anyhow, that's how it came to be called Archway Gallery. And then we had to set up bylaws, and Stephanie Nadolkski was brilliant. I mean, everything. I had like a page of ideas of bylaws, but she had, a few pages and details. And I think it's that foundation of bylaws that have made the gallery so successful. And really, the members, I think, have just done a wonderful job from when they left Archway, which till now. And so I really commend everybody here, and thank you. And that's the beginning of Archway. So.
Now let's hear from Janet Hassinger.
Yes, well, the thing that stuns me every day is 50 years. Archway. It was Marianne Hornbuckle and Stephanie Nadolkski who invited me, because I was also at the street shows, as were the other artists, not liking it when you had to load your car, go set up, spend the day on the street, then it would rain, and oh my gosh, I had watercolors. I remember coming up with the name Archway, and I remember designing the arch. And of course, for me, and I think for some of the others, it wasn't just a place to show. For me, it was the archway to my whole life here in Houston. I had never really shown in a gallery. I had an education, a BFA, which you can't get a job filing with that. But it was a wonderful experience. And in terms of Stephanie being the one who really had lots of ideas, I remember 4 or 5 of us, June Adler being one, and we started calling cooperatives in New York City and in Chicago and said, send me your bylaws. What do you do? What's making it work? What's not making it work? And I was with the gallery for 4 or 5 years and then got a wonderful offer to go with another gallery where I didn't have to do the work and I didn't have to do the selling, but this was an amazing beginning to a life I think I never envisioned. I had just come to Houston from Connecticut, actually from Salem, Massachusetts, where everything is 400 years older. Just a great experience. You learn to market, you learn to do your invitations, you learn to do your framing, and you still went to the street shows and told people, here's my card. You can find my work at Archway any day of the week. And that was just great. So I don't want to belabor, not sure what else to tell you. I'm just amazed that 50 years later they call me. And I'm so sad that some of the other founding members, especially Hornbuckle, Nadolkski, and Adler, are not here.
Joe, can we hear from you, please?
Okay, short and sweet. So Archway started here in 1976. Hillary Page actually found this location. I was asked by June Adler in 1978. I was teaching art in the Aldine School District, and she had seen my work in some of the Art Education Association type exhibitions, and she said, we need a sculptor. We need somebody doing 3D work in our newly formed Archway Gallery. I thought, okay, well, yeah, but I teach full time. How can I work in a gallery? Oh, well, we'll work that out. You can do weekends. I said, okay. As if I wasn't working enough hours already. But I thought, well, that's an opportunity because I did exhibitions a lot, but I really wasn't represented by a gallery. And I thought, well, maybe there's an advantage to that. What I didn't know was you are the gallery director. Every day you show up to work in the gallery, you are the gallery director. You represent the gallery. And when I was working one day and a man was looking at some of my pieces, I work in clay, so I have vessels mostly at that time. And immediately I walked up to him and I asked if I could help or answer any questions. And no, he was fine. And I said, well, then I started to apologize to him. I said, well, I'm so sorry. I said, I made that piece and it's not quite centered. It's a little bit off, And he said, well, that's why I like it. And I went, oh, that's nice to know. So getting that kind of feedback from people was fabulous. If you are represented by a gallery, you're not in the gallery to hear what people say about your work, but being an artist-run gallery, you were there. You spoke to the public about the work, and you had to speak about everybody else's work also. So anyway, it was just a great experience, and I can never thank June Adler enough for bringing me into the group. Thank you.
Can I say something else? She was just talking about, being the artist in the gallery. And I don't know how many of you know that when you're an artist, as I am on paper, and then you have to pay to frame the piece, and then the gallery, every gallery here in town takes 50%.
Yeah, I'll say something now.
Of your profit, and that includes what you pay to get it framed. And that's one of the big draws of being in an artist cooperative. They pay a smaller percentage to keep the gallery running. And just thought of that.
Let's turn it up a little bit. Okay. I'm taller than they are. So, in addition to these former members that you've heard from tonight, I want to acknowledge that there are many former members of the gallery, in the audience tonight. I see Gary Cosmos there. I see Margaret Dobbins. There are a number, Andrea Wilkinson, Christy Coker. And
raise your hand.
So if you're a former member, raise your hand. Raise your hand and let us acknowledge you. Yeah. Next, I want to introduce somebody who's very important to the successful operation of Archway Gallery, and that's our own John Slaby. John is an active Archway Gallery member. He is our treasurer. He's our in-house photographer, everything. He's our in-house computer guru. He does a whole lot of work. He runs our music performances program at the gallery, so he's very active and a very key part of our organization. So, any really good anniversary celebration needs to have a toast. So I've asked John to prepare a toast for us, and I'll turn this over to him now.
Well, I'm sure all of you can see that I'm wearing this beautiful t-shirt. It has 34 portraits done by all 34 artists in Archway Gallery. Yeah, how about that? And that's going to be on display at Dunleavy location starting in April for our 50th anniversary called 50 Forward over on our space. So I hope you'll come back for that. I think there should be some Prosecco being passed around. Oh yeah, there's some Prosecco in the back that we're going to have a little toast. I'm going to say a few words while you... That's a beautiful sound, huh? How about that? Well, I can't tell you how happy I am to be here tonight and to be in the presence of the founders and early members and longtime members and all of our patrons, our former members here and our current members. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be a member of this space, to be a member of this institution, this legacy. About almost 33 years ago, I got a call from Margaret Bach, a phone call that changed my life. Margaret told me that I had been juried into this gallery, and my life has never been the same, in a very positive way. And Cookie and Cheryl were with me at that time, almost 33 years ago. Cheryl even goes back another year before that. This gallery has meant the world to me. It has made my art career. It has made me into the artist that I am today. And it's been a lot more than that. As Harold was saying, I do a lot for this space because I love it so much, because it means so much to me. It has become my family of choice, and it has meant so much to me, especially over the last 10 years. And so I would do anything for this space and for the people in it. So I'm going to make a toast. Everybody should have something to drink. There's not enough booze around here. Well, actually, before I do that, I have one more thing I would like to just take a moment to recognize. I've been in this gallery for over 30 years, and I've seen a lot of artists come and go. But I would like to take a moment to recognize those members who are no longer with us. To just take a moment of silence and think about those beloved artists that had been in the gallery and have moved on to the afterlife, where hopefully there's lots of art supplies for them. I miss them all so much. I miss everybody who comes and goes in this gallery. So I have a few things I want to say for our toast, and it's kind of a list, so I can summarize how I feel about the gallery. I'd like to start by saying a toast to the Jung Center, because it's the Jung Center that gave this startup gallery a chance, and to its arches, which bears the name of this gallery, to the gallery that provides a space for artists to experiment, the freedom to experiment, the freedom to try, the freedom to fail and learn, to experiment, to learn, to grow, and to connect with patrons, and to connect with the art community at large, and then with the other members. Gallery that offers space to musicians, to dancers, to poets, to writers, to other members of the art community in Houston through its juried exhibition. A toast to the courageous founders that took a chance and 50 years ago created a legacy that we enjoy this day. To the scores of past and present members that continue that legacy, that have created this community, this larger community in Houston. To a place that's more than a gallery, to a place that's a home to all of those members, past and present. An institution in this city. A place that's been my home for 30 years. To the longest running art gallery in Houston, the longest running art gallery in the state of Texas. Right? Yes. To the best damn gallery anywhere. Right? To Archway Gallery. Drink up. Archway.
John, can we get a gathering of all current and former members with them up front? That would be great. So we can get a photo.
Well, Harold has a few words.
Thank you, John, for that heartfelt toast. Now you know why I asked him to give the toast. Let us close with just a few thank yous. We want to say a big thank you to our loyal collectors and supporters who've been with us for many years. And to the great Houston community of artists and musicians and dancers and writers and all kinds of creatives who have drawn inspiration from us, and from hopefully we have drawn inspiration from them. And lastly, as John said, we really want to thank the Jung Center for inviting us to celebrate our beginning in the space where we began. And thanks to all of you for coming tonight. Thanks again.